So, as you can hear, this truck's getting loud again. They did stop by my mechanic, and it's just the pipe keeps breaking in different places. Driving out here. The money that I was able to raise for what I thought was going to be a giant transmission problem for this truck, I've been able to instead purchase a Toyota at auction. A friend of mine did the work for me, and he's actually going to get it in Oregon right now. I guess he's going to visit his mom while he's there. He makes some good money turning cars over. It's a Toyota Sequoia. It's not as old as this one. It's not new. But Toyota's got a really good reputation, and this Toyota guy, he knows his shit. That truck is going to make what happens to this truck much less important. If I am too concerned about cracks in my windshield, or how loud it is, or the squeal coming from the fucking wheel, I don't intend to sell this one. I feel like getting rid of this truck would be really super bad karma. I'm not really a believer, but I really shouldn't believe that I own a truck that actively hates me and wants to do me ill, but here I am. For whatever reason, this truck and I don't get along, and I think it's bad for society, and I'm not going to release it into the world. Park it on the range and use it when I need an extra truck, or when I got to beat the fuck out of something. And that Toyota, as nice as it is, the seats are pristine. It's got a little bit of front fender damage, which brought that price down quite a bit. We're going to fix that one up, and I may turn it over. I would love to go into the same sort of business as my friend. For him, it's a side hustle. For me, that could be 10 grand a year. And that's more than enough to get by. I'll take a look at it when it gets here. It'll be here in a few days. Very excited to not be depending on this machine here. Which, I guess Chevys from this era were fine. Current model Chevys I wouldn't deal with at all. Not just for all of the beeps and dings and bells and fucking lights that I don't want or need. But also the current era of American cars are just not... current era of American cars are just not quality cars. I mean, maybe anything high-end you can do well, but anybody can build a good high-end car. I used to say that when I had the Impala. I don't care that you make Camaros and Corvettes. Anybody can do top of the line because you can sell it for whatever it costs you to make it. But what's important, in my opinion, with car companies, a typical car company, is what do their cheap cars look like? Because those are the ones that matter. And in this modern era, at least the last 10 years more, everything's built exactly to spec. There is no tolerance for extras like the Impala. I blew out wiring harnesses because I had top lights on it. You couldn't put any more strain on the thing than the thing was designed to take, or it was gonna fucking melt down on you. There's a lot more wiggle room with older vehicles, what you can do. Anyway, I got a litany of reasons why I don't like recent model cars, besides the fact that they all look like shit. I am glad I grew up in the 70s when all the cars around me were beautiful and I had a real appreciation for vehicles then. Because if I was growing up now, I assume I'd have no interest in cars whatsoever. And they don't have the lines, they don't have the beauty. They look like little prisons to me. Again, I know there's other hassles with getting older trucks. Toyota does not have the less than stellar reputation. It's got an amazing reputation. And I'm going to take the word of my friend who is owned junkyards. Just he knows his shit. And I've been dealing with GM all my life. It's always been GMs of one sort or another. I had a lot of Oldsmobiles, a couple of Chevys. I don't wouldn't want a new one. So we'll see what happens when the Toyota gets here, and I can see what we can do with it. Decide whether I'm going to turn it around or hold on to it. Oh, look, here's that dog that chases my car. Here we're going to go for a run. Look out for cows. I was unable to get a spare tire for this truck. Although it's a super common truck, I guess not a lot of used tires show up in reasonable conditions for resale or whatever. Fucking Cholo. There's a tire mafia or something up there. Nobody does used tires. And for every shop in a fairly large, small town to not do used tires, they all got to be in on it together. Fuck it, we can force people to buy new tires. The thing is, out here, if I get a $20 tire, it's going to get destroyed. If I get a $200 tire, it's going to get fucking destroyed. So, there's no point in me paying literally 10 times as much for what's going to be the exact same thing when it fucking gets destroyed, which it will. So, the last 2 days I've been driving without a spare. Thieves took a homestead away near my house and just dropped a lot of shit in the road. And I got 2 flat tires in 2 days. First time it was repairable, and the second time it was not repairable, and now it's got that fucker sitting in the back there. Instead of spending money with randoms in a town that I believe has a conspiracy to sell new tires, waited until I got back to Holbrook to talk to my mechanic. He doesn't have a tire in my size, used or new. But he will have a new one in tomorrow. And I'd rather throw the money at him because it's a shop I like, people I trust. They let me hang out in the shop and watch the work. They let me try to understand everything that's going on. And, you know, have taught me a lot there. I feel like I've taken a course in especially Chevy Tahoe maintenance. And I don't know, have any idea how well that'll translate to Toyota since I've never owned one. That's a whole other freaking learning curve. 5 years ago, I wouldn't have thought I'd ever know as much about vehicles as I do now. Out here, you have to know something. And there are things that I can do now that would have absolutely amazed me in my 20s. I wish I'd have paid attention to my grandfather when he spent all my childhood fixing various vehicles, mostly Cadillacs. He had gone to mechanic school and worked in automotive for 40 years. Never had any interest in it. In the city, I always had people around me that knew how to do things. I always had a friend that, you know, could find what I needed. Here, I got to learn how to do things. Here, I got to figure out how to find the things that I need. I'm not sure Eric in his 20s could have handled being out here. I think Eric in his 30s probably could have, but wouldn't have believed that. Might have been able to pull this off 10 years ago, but I don't think sooner than that. And I might be able to pull it off in 10 years, but maybe not after that. I don't know. Cows in the road. Baby cows. See, we got brown cows out here now. They used to always be black. Baby cow. Finding the only tree in the desert to tear it up. So that's my update for what's going on right now. And I'll leave you with some baby cows that are too goofy to get out of the road. Come on. Aren't they beautiful? I'll make fine hamburgers one day.